Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Artsy Autismmom Chronicles. Today's vlog is about something that I don't like to talk about, but it's something that me and my son deal with and many other adults on the autism spectrum deal with, and that is adult meltdowns. But before we get into that, here's the intro, and I'll be right back with you right after that. It's not uncommon to see children having meltdowns and tantrums, and this is true for both neurotypical as well as neurodiverse children. But for those on the autism spectrum, depending on the severity of their autism, meltdowns or tantrums can last well into their adult years. Meltdowns are intense responses to overwhelming situations. They're usually characterized by a loss of control and an extreme emotional reaction. For adults with ASD, these episodes are not simply tantrums, but are deeply rooted in the neurological and sensory differences associated with autism. Meltdowns can be triggered by sensory overload, unexpected changes, high levels of stress, or a buildup of smaller frustrations that culminate in a breakdown. Unlike typical expressions of frustration, meltdowns are involuntary and often unavoidable. I can tell you from personal experience with my son that many times he is fighting not to have a meltdown, and it is like he is driven and cannot stop himself or control his actions. For adults on the autism spectrum, meltdowns can be physically and emotionally exhausting. They may feel intense shame and guilt following an episode, particularly if their behavior has affected others or resulted in damage to property. This emotional aftermath can contribute to anxiety and depression, creating a vicious cycle of stress and further meltdowns. The fear of having meltdowns in public or at work, if they work, can lead to social withdrawal, isolation, and a reluctance to engage in new experiences or to pursue opportunities. Meltdowns can severely disrupt daily life. They can interfere with an individual's ability to maintain employment, complete educational pursuits, and establish stable living conditions. For many adults with ASD, managing daily tasks and responsibilities is already challenging. The additional burden of coping with meltdowns makes their challenges even more daunting. And moreover, meltdowns can lead to misunderstandings with coworkers, friends, and even strangers, which may misinterpret this behavior as aggressive or inappropriate rather than a manifestation of an underlying condition. Meltdowns can be overwhelming for both the individual having them and those who are around them for support. Many times, in the midst of a meltdown, when someone is trying to calm them down, it only exasperates the situation and sometimes can make the meltdown worse. The impact of meltdowns extends beyond the individual and their relationships with family and friends. Loved ones often feel helpless and may struggle to understand how to provide effective support. The unpredictability of meltdowns can strain relationships, and friends and family members may become reluctant to invite the person with ASD to social gatherings, or may avoid certain topics or activities that could potentially trigger a meltdown. This can lead to feelings of loneliness and abandonment for the person with autism, exacerbating their emotional distress. On a broader scale, the prevalence of adult meltdowns among those with ASD underscores the need for greater societal awareness and accommodation. There is a critical need for workplace, educational institutions, and public spaces to become more autism friendly. This includes providing quiet spaces, allowing flexible work arrangements, and promoting a culture of understanding and acceptance. Society must also invest in training programs for first responders, educators, and employers to recognize and appropriately respond to meltdowns, reducing the risk of unnecessary confrontation or punitive measures. That is one of my biggest issues, is that first responders and educators are really not equipped or not trained properly to deal with adult meltdowns. And in the case of first responders, in many situations, they treat autism meltdowns the same as a psychotic break, like with individuals who have mental health issues. And it's not the same. To mitigate the dark side of autism spectrum, adult meltdowns, a multifaceted approach is necessary. Therapy and counseling can help individuals develop coping strategies and resilience. Cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, and mindfulness practices can be particularly beneficial in managing anxiety and sensory sensitivity. Additionally, support groups for both individuals with ASD and their families can provide a sense of community and shared understanding, reducing the feelings of isolation. Also, personalized support plans, which might include sensory tools, scheduled breaks, and clear communication strategies, can help prevent meltdowns or at least lessen their severity. There are also technology apps that are offering solutions. They've got apps that help to track moods and stress levels to help individuals anticipate and manage potential triggers. Those outside of the autism community don't take into account that meltdowns happen to those on the autism spectrum throughout their life. Meltdowns, or as the world sees in neurotypical individuals, tantrums, are something they see for children, but we know happen for adults with ASD. Adult meltdowns represent a significant and often overlooked aspect of life with autism. Understanding and addressing these meltdowns requires empathy, awareness, and proactive support from both individuals and society. Fostering environments that accommodate the unique needs of adults with ASD makes sure that we can help reduce the frequency and impact of meltdowns. This will help to improve the quality of life for those on the spectrum, and it creates a more inclusive and compassionate society. Honestly, if I could snap my fingers and make meltdowns disappear for all adults on the autism spectrum, especially my son, I would. But the reality is that for many individuals with ASD, this is something they have to deal with their entire lives. And what we can do as their support system and caregivers in my situation is to help them to navigate through these, and also help them with ways to reduce them, either through technology or through meditation or through therapy. Because making this something that is a normalized part of their life, but reducing the stress of it, will help our friends and family with ASD to have more fulfilled lives and better cope with potential triggers in their lives that cause what we call the dark side of autism, adult meltdowns. I hope that this information has been interesting and helpful to you guys, and that the personal highlights have also helped in your learning about this topic. I will leave additional information, of course, down in the description of this video for you. Please leave me comments in the comment section and give me your thoughts. Also, if you're not already following me, please follow me on all my social media. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram as DC the Purple Diva, and follow me on my other YouTube channel where I do spoken word, The Purple Diva Den. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, I offer you peace and blessings from the West Side. I'm out.